Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome everybody to the Wolf's Den. Tonight's a very special night. We've got some great individuals with us tonight. The Honey Sliders. Larry Aquila, introduce the guys for us in the company.
This is John Hellcat Watkins, Steve Super Cat Hunter, and Mark Kosher Cat Brill. And I'm Larry Aquila.
My man, it's awesome to have you, Cat.
Thanks for having us, buddy.
Now, I want to talk to each individual because I want to know a little bit behind everyone. One of the things is that I believe in this platform, I want the people to get to know the musicians. Right. And I believe that's very important. So why don't we start with Mark?
That sounds good.
Why don't we start with Mark? Mark, all right, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, Massachusetts. And what brought you to Georgia?
Hurricane Katrina by way of New Orleans. I spent 20 years in New Orleans, and then Hurricane Katrina came through, kicked me out, and I came to Georgia. And it turns out I liked it.
Do you mind sharing a little bit of that story with us? I mean, was it a tragic occurrence? Did you lose everything? Or?
The thing is, actually, for me, it turned out to be a blessing. I had pretty much had enough of downtown New Orleans, and I was sort of planning on getting out anyways. And then Katrina came through, destroyed my home, destroyed a lot of my belongings, but I didn't have all that much at the time, which sort of worked out well. And when I came up to Georgia, I just fell in love with it, and I decided I was going to stay up here. I didn't suffer as a lot of people did in New Orleans, and I feel blessed and very lucky about that. But for me, it was a changing point in my life, and I never would have met these guys, frankly. And this is
they're awesome with cats.
Some of the best times I've ever had playing music is with these cats. So you know, again, I can't have too many regrets.
Now, how long has your career been in this? I mean, how long have you been playing professionally?
Well, professionally implies that you get paid for it.
Understood, brother. Understood.
I've been touring and playing with bands that have been recording and on different labels, smaller labels for almost a quarter century. Anyways, when you say century, it sounds really old, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, brother. But tell us a little bit about that. Who? When
I spent my 20s in a van driving all over North America, Canada, just playing in bars and having a lot of fun and trying to become a rock star and enjoying it every moment. But you don't come away with it with, let's say, a lot of financial gravitas.
Yes. But you're the beat man, and one of the things about this, I mean, as a drummer, who were your influences, brother?
When it started, just like a lot of people, I've come up in the early 80s, so of course the Police and Stuart Copeland, and I was listening to a lot of AC/DC and Phil Rudd. But as you and I were discussing before, a big influence on me was the early Stax recordings and Motown recordings, and I think that's where Larry and I found a lot of common ground, because obviously Larry being from Motown, guys like Benny Benjamin and the guys from Stax, Al Jackson Jr., they played a big part in what I consider to be real music.
Now, how did all you guys meet? I mean, was it just, did you put an ad up, or was it look at the band members, or
I play in a jazz combo, free jazz combo with a cat named George Davis. You met him once at the house, saxophone player. Yeah, man. He introduced me to Steve, the Super Cat, and one of my bands fell apart, so Steve and I started playing. I had a bunch of songs that I had written, and through that, we met this cat right here.
We met this cat first, didn't we?
Did we?
Oh yeah.
Well, y'all met me through Soul Cat.
Oh, that's right.
Our second
second.
We had two drummers before this guy.
Oh, really? Oh, really? I mean, but you're settling this. You love this guy.
Of course.
Definitely.
Well, it's a Spinal Tap kind of situation. I mean,
when he started playing with us, it changed everything.
It changed everything. What do you mean, like the dynamics, or was it instant chemistry?
I'll put it this way, man. Steve had invited Mark over to his house, and I didn't know it. And I went over there to do some playing with Steve, and Mark was there. And I'm telling you, we didn't even make it through the first song. I remember looking at you, Steve, going, "That's our guy." He's the perfect compliment for
the fact is, I saw those guys out playing one night, and I knew that it was the kind of music that I would like to play.
Yeah.
And so I talked to Steve about it, and he was kind enough to invite me over for a jam. And Larry came by, and that was it.
Now, Steve, You have some interesting stories, man. Let's get around to talking to you a little bit. Where are you from?
Texas.
Texas. What brought you to Georgia?
I didn't come directly to Georgia from Texas. I went from Texas to South Carolina first. I had to get had to do an apprenticeship in South Carolina.
What was that about?
2 bands.
Oh. Now, in South Carolina, was this like, did you move there for music, or was it?
No, I moved there to get an apprenticeship, to get some training, some technical training.
And for work, and you had no plans on doing any
No,
music at this time?
I wasn't doing it for work because I didn't have any training.
Ah.
So I went there to get training so I could work to do it.
So when did you get involved with the music aspect?
Playing guitar. I
Yeah.
started playing guitar probably back in 75.
In 75. And what were your influences?
Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix,
Jimi Hendrix,
Pink Floyd,
Pink Floyd. Now, when
and the Ramones.
when did you decide, like him, when did you decide that you wanted to make a move to do it professionally? Like him, start gigging around also?
It just happened organically. I mean, we weren't even, when me and Larry got together, there was no talking gigs. We were just recording projects. He had a bunch of songs, and we started recording them on his recording machine.
That's right.
And then at some point we got CJ, or
Yeah, CJ was our first drummer.
yeah,
But he was living in South
a friend
Carolina.
of mine from when I lived in South Carolina.
Ah,
Who I used to
So
jam
you
with in
associate-
South Carolina,
But it was
and we
Howard.
roped him in to play drums with just 2 of us, and that was pretty good.
and you guys have constructed a couple of albums together, haven't you? Let's talk a little bit about those, man, because I know you guys are dying to tell me about them.
The first one was recorded at my house. The boys came in with a mobile recording studio.
Green Light Sound Studio, right?
Yeah, that's the name.
And the name of the album is?
Los Gatos.
de Tequila.
Now, where did you come up with this name? I mean, how that is? Was that organic as well?
It's because I used to.
Oh, here we go.
I
Oh,
would
you
show
showed
up
up.
at every rehearsal with a bottle of Patron, and we'd always do a shot of tequila before we started. And since we all have nicknames of cats, it became, in Spanish, Los Gatos de Tequila, cats of tequila, and that's really all it is.
Now, do you guys write your music? Okay.
Yes.
Now, did you all take part in this?
Well, when we first started, I brought my songs. And I had a bunch of them. But the coolest thing about the past year and a half is that every song that we write now, we write together. And it opens things up so much, it's ridiculous.
Now,
It's a beautiful process.
yeah, check out some of you guys' music. It's really the energy you guys put into it, man. I think it's really awesome. But is this something that was just natural chemistry for everybody,
Yeah,
and everybody went that way?
Absolutely.
And so there's never been a dispute about the direction of the band or the music that you wanted to make.
Larry's got a back catalog of about 4,000 songs, and they all, but they all have a core sort of rhythmic and tonal value of being from Detroit, and I think we all sort of gravitated towards that, sort of a Stooges, Iggy and the Stooges kind of vibe, that sort of thing. But also laid down with a lot of, like we were talking about before, a lot of Motown. And I think that we all have a real empathy for that kind of music, and so I think we all sort of gravitated towards that.
I think one of the coolest things about what was going on in this band is each one of us is allowed to be who we want to be, basically. And that's what's so cool about writing the songs together.
And that's one thing I kind of, when we first started playing together and having new tunes, I asked, is this cool what I'm doing? And he said, I'm never going to tell you what you can and can't play. You do what you do.
With the freedom.
Right.
Right.
It's got to be
Means
something.
something.
You know, I kind of took that and knew that we were all in that. Everything's magic.
Now, John, how did you guys do this, man?
Well, Soul Cat, I've used the
The second drummer.
Or
The
something.
second drummer?
Geez, I'm a cat player. It's pretty wacky music, but it'd be a great addition. Yeah, you know, as soon as I set you know, as soon as the first song started, I knew it was going to be great. You know, it just molded and kept on evolving and turned into some pretty great stuff.
Now, where are you from originally?
I'm from Augusta.
Augusta, Georgia.
Augusta, Georgia.
Augusta, Georgia. And your influences growing up were?
All kinds of things. I grew up with classical music and movie scores. Santana, all the keyboard players of Santana were fantastic to me. Deep Purple and John Badisky, more recent. And now, John Paul Jones.
Yes.
Do what John Paul Jones does.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
I just mentioned that Juan is kind of our musical compass in that he's the most knowledgeable
Yes.
about actual music out of all of us.
Right.
And well,
He knows music theory.
and he's
That's what Larry told me too. He said, I mean, that was
He's
a compliment
classically
he
trained.
gave me over the phone. He said that he goes, he's the most talented out of all of us. He said,
and the most knowledgeable.
But I can't do what I do on stage if it wasn't for these cats.
understood, and it's a team effort.
Yeah,
It's almost like a family.
Right.
Yeah, and it
I
has to
can't
be.
get up there and do whatever it is I do without.
Understood. Now, I'm going to move over to Larry, all right, because Larry has some interesting tales. I want to
He can
talk
write a
about the
book.
early stages. Let's get back. Let's get back to the kid from Detroit, man.
Right on.
All right, let's talk about Detroit. And what on the moves here? I mean, your influences were jazz early on.
Well, dude, when I was growing up, man, I mean, of course, couldn't get away from Motown. I mean, Motown was saturated the city. And I had 4 older brothers and older sister who were all big into rock and roll. I didn't discover jazz until I was about 20 or 21 when I started playing drums. You dig? And I immediately gravitated towards it. And I can't even tell you why, other than the soul. It hit me right here, man. So when I started playing, I was playing free jazz and whatnot. And focusing on cats like late period Coltrane, Albert Ayler, Ornette Coleman, Sun Ra, cats like this, man, where there was structure, but there's a lot of improv.
Now, did you come from a musical family, or how did this all start?
My 4 older brothers all played. And
They were in acting bands?
Oh, hell yeah, man. You know, playing the house parties, high school parties, VFW halls, Knights of Columbus, shit like that. My wife and I would go to these gigs on occasion. And, yeah, man, Detroit was a music town, man.
Now,
So,
what took you away from Detroit?
that city died, man.
I understand.
The city died. Our neighborhood fucking, it died pretty quick when the Dodge plant closed in 1980. And I had an opportunity my senior year to get out of town, and I took it. Because I knew if I was to stay there, I'd be working in a factory and hating on.
Did the road bring you to Georgia?
Oh, yeah.
I understand. But it was a direct road, or did you go,
It was a big round.
Talk about it, man. Talk about it. I know you got some adventures, bro.
I went on about a year and a half hitchhiking odyssey, and when I was 20, I think. And I met a woman in Asheville, North Carolina, about midway through the odyssey. By that point, I should have been dead probably 3 or 4 times. I met this woman. We went on some more crazy adventures. Probably should have been dead by 3 or 4 times. And she finally said, "We need to slow down, man. And I want to show you my hometown and introduce you to some friends of mine called Widespread Panic." That's what happened.
Yes, I want to get into this.
Yeah.
Now, how did that relationship occur? I mean, why?